Hi, this is Robin Robinson with HopeFM, and we are here to help you make an informed decision as you get ready to vote. The primary election is coming up on August 20th, and we have several candidates in today that are all vying for Putnam County Commission District 5. We have Buddy Goddard, Walton Pellicer, and Tim Williams. And many of the races here in our community are going to be determined in August, and then, of course, others in November. But we just want to help you make an informed decision and remember to get out and vote. Now, when it comes to doing candidate forums, we feel like we can be completely impartial because we are not ones that accept any political advertising. We don't endorse any candidates or parties. We just want to help our voters make an informed decision. So for Putnam County Commissioner District 5, this is the Republican primary, and we have 3 candidates. As a reminder to our voters, the county is divided into 5 districts, and the commissioner that we elect for each of those districts has to live in that area of the county, but as voters, we get to vote for every one of the commissioners. Now this year, we're going to be electing 3 new county commissioners, and I don't think that happens very often. So just a little bit of history on this position right now. It's being held by Paul Adamczak, and he's decided not to run for re-election, but to seek another position. And 2 of the 3 candidates here today have actually held this position before, both Buddy Goddard and Walton Pellicer. Third candidate is Tim Williams, and again, this is the Republican primary. And because there is a write-in candidate, the winner of the race in August will be on the ballot in November, along with that write-in. So thank you all for being here. We're going to give you each 1 minute to answer each of the questions. We're going to alternate who goes first, so you don't have to answer first for every one of the questions. And the timer will go off at the end of 1 minute to let you know it's time to wrap up your answer. We're going to go in alphabetical order, so we'll start with Buddy Goddard for the first question. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I was lucky enough. I used to own a construction company. I did work at Georgia Pacific. And during a shutdown, I met Larry Minnick, who was my future father-in-law. I met Shondell. We got married shortly thereafter, had 3 children. Those 3 children graduated from Palaca High School, went on to the college here, and now, unfortunately, none of them live here. They're all out of state. Of course, I was, like I said, a small business owner, and it also my community involvements. I'm very heavy in my Rotary. I enjoy that. I'm on the Save Rodman Reservoir, and I'm also on the Waterways and Trails because our water is a very, very important part of our county.
Thank you so much. And same question, Walton Pellicer, tell us about yourself.
I prepared my statement so that I can hopefully stay within the 1 minute and Ricky won't give me bad looks over there. But anyway, I was born here in Putnam County and never left. Graduated from Palaca High School in 1981. My family opened and operated Walt's Barbecue in 1978, and I worked there till about 2006. There was a brief period of time there for about 18 months that I worked at Georgia Pacific in tissue converting before coming back to manage our family business. After that, I worked for a local welding contractor, and the bulk of our work was at Seminole Electric, where I remain most of the time. I have 2 adult daughters. They live here in Palaca. I'm currently part-time employed with Johnson Overturf Funeral Home. As for my community involvement, I have barbecued, which is kind of my forte, for just about every civic, fraternal, and church organization and their fundraising efforts. And there's more that I can tell, but I won't bore you with that.
All right, thank you so much. Tim Williams, tell us about yourself.
Basically just normal blue-collar, salt-of-the-earth type of guy. Just normal family stuff. Nothing too exciting there, but we own a small family repair shop out in Interlochen. I've been here a little over 20 years. I was born and raised in Miami. Kind of gives me a unique perspective of which way this county looks like it's going with all the growth now. But as far as the community involvement, we've sponsored through our business 5 Habitat for Humanity homes. When the schools come and ask us for money for their little things, we'll sponsor stuff like that as far as community involvement. But, nothing too crazy outside the normal day-to-day activities. I do have a 9-year-old daughter, which is that's my world. So I'm trying to make this a better place for her with what I can do,
All right. Thank you so much. And for the next question, we'll start with Walton for this one. Why do you want to serve once again in the office of County Commissioner?
A lot of my questions or answers are going to be kind of redundant it was based on my previous time of service, and I apologize for that, but that's, I think, is probably one of my high points. When I previously held this office, we got so much accomplished in that 4-year period that I feel like I'm really equipped to go back in there. I see big things on the horizon for Putnam County, and I believe my experience there will be an advantage to meeting the challenges that lie ahead. This job has a lot to do with knowing which door to knock on here and in Tallahassee. I have built these relationships that will help me help our county. I think that's what best equips me for the job. And
Tim Williams, same question.
Obviously, I want to try to make a difference in my community, but I've seen, a lot of the shortcomings that have been in this county, being small and rural, how the growth has been stifled for so long, and with what's coming in. Again, coming from Miami, I think I have a unique perspective on the growth that's starting to head this way. When I grew up in Miami, it was actually a rural area. Dade County wasn't like it is now. And I think we need to have a better perspective on that, be able to, I guess, regulate it or not necessarily control it, but move it in a way that we can keep our ruralness here, our small town feel, without getting too big and crazy, become like St. John's or Flagler County or anything like that. But keep our natural ruralness here, but get our growth where we need to be to fix our infrastructure and stuff.
Okay, thank you. And Buddy, why do you want to serve as county commissioner again?
Well, same thing in these other counties that have just blown up. And then in talking to a lot of the commissioners, that's one of the things I enjoyed, was going to Tallahassee, meeting with other commissioners, other counties, the trials and tribulations that they go through, which makes us not as bad. But we're at this precipice where we're going to grow, but we need to be careful. I want to maintain our ruralness, and I did look that up. That is a real word, with positive growth. It worries me that if we don't, we're going to lose what we love here. Now, there are approximately between 5,000 and 8,000 people a day leave here every day to go work in another county, and they come back here. They live here. Why? Because they love what we have here. I want to maintain what we have here. I don't want to destroy what we have.
Thank you. For the next question, Tim, we'll start with you. What experience do you have that you feel qualifies you to fulfill the duties of this office?
Well, do own a small business, and running a county is basically running a business. You're in charge of a budget, and taking care of the day-to-day operations, and making sure the county's where it needs to be. Now, I do have a bachelor's degree in business management. Have had that for about 20 years now. So the one unique thing with me is, yes, I've been an auto mechanic for 30 plus years, working on cars and, again, running a business. But in that time, my process is, you don't come to me just because you want to. You come to me because you got a problem. So my brain's been trained. Here's a problem. What's the best solution to fix it, and find the best possible outcome. That's going to solve our problem. So that's just the way my brain's been working for so long. And there's a lot of issues in this county. I may not have all the answers, but I can put a group together that we can figure this out, and we can get this county moving in the right way.
Thank you. And Buddy, we'll go to you next. What experience do you feel you have that would qualify you for this position?
Well, fortunately, before I became a business owner, I had gone to school. I became a project manager, and that put me over large projects. One of them I just said was Georgia Pacific, but different chemical plants, and I did a lot of government work, which included the launch towers and aircraft carriers. So dealing with all sorts of people just became natural with me. I think my biggest thing is I have proven as a commissioner what we can get done. I got a lot of good things done while I was in there, personally myself, plus as a group. And that's the hardest thing sometimes, is working together with other like-minded. I'd say that because myself and the commissioners didn't always agree, but working with them in order to have a common goal was always a good thing.
And Walton, same question for you.
It's going to be similar to theirs. Having run a successful small business, I know about what it takes to run one of those, and working within a budget, and you can't spend what you don't have. That's the ins and outs of it. I mean, it's the same in big government, it's just larger numbers. As I said before, having previously served in this office, it would give me a big head start of knowing the ins and outs in county government. I think that's definitely a leg up.
And for the next question, Buddy, we'll start with you. How do you feel that you would make improvements to our county by being elected to this position?
My biggest one is because I do know big business. I know how the ins and outs are. I know how to deal with the attorneys. And I will not let the developers run us. That's my biggest thing, is because private property is private property, but we should not be dictated on to how they're going to do their things. As a county commissioner, we can guide that in the direction we want it. So the growth is inevitable. Positive growth is what we're looking for, because there's a whole lot of other factors that go in there, roadways and impacts on communities and schools, and so we've got to be very, very cautious on how we do this. It's got to be handled by thinking. That's all.
Walton, same question.
My record of service from when I served before, I think, is a good indication of the type of leader I am. We built a badly needed new jail, and our old one was in terrible condition, not safe for our employees or our inmates. I made the connection that got Seminole to add their natural gas-fired generating station here, and thereby increasing their commitment to our county. I was the first commissioner to reach out to Georgia Pacific to encourage them to build their new TAD paper machine here, a $700 million investment here in Putnam County, thereby solidifying their position at this mill and hopefully expanding their operations here in the future.
And Tim Williams, also, how do you feel you would make improvements to our county?
Running a business and budgeting. We always see wasteful government spending. It'd be more common sense, smarter budgeting. You can look at projects in the past that have come in over budget, under staffed or under, like the waste treatment plant we got. In East Palatka, it came in, but it's not functioning correctly. It's not sufficient, and it's costing us $500,000 a year to keep it up and running. So there's if we're going to have a project come in, we need to make sure it's feasible. It's not going to cost us a lot more money to keep it operating and running. And the other thing is, there's a lot of in-house fighting between the county and the local municipalities. I think we need to find a way to work better together to resolve county issues. I've talked to many people that live in the municipality. They go to the county says go to the municipality, they get sit back and forth. So there's a lot of stuff that we can work together to fix this county and make it better.
With the influx of people moving into Putnam County, Buddy, how would you address the infrastructure needs and continue to also protect people's property rights at the same time?
Well, that would be continue with what we had already started when I was in there, building our infrastructure, which is the water and the sewer. I'm an advocate for getting those that are on the river off of septic systems and onto a sewer system. Very expensive, but if we're going to keep our water clean, this is what we're going to have to do. But also, businesses don't want to move in and set up if there's no water and sewer. So, I mean, it's a two-way street there, but we've got to have that done. So we've got to keep working on that. The other is, I guess we just have to understand that the new development is going to be an impact on our community, on our roads and everything else. So we've got to just continue on that. Now, the private properties, that is private property, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that.
Thank you, and my apologies, I got out of order. I was supposed to go to Walton first for that one. So
that was fine.
Anyway, sorry about that. But Walton, same question. With all the people moving into Putnam County, how would you address the infrastructure needs and continue to protect people's property rights?
Well, I'm going to say something that probably a lot of people don't want to hear, but it's just what's going to have to happen. That with what looks like is going to be a large influx of homes being built in East Palatka and along the 207 road there will have to be impact fees on this type of development. However, I would like to see these adjusted for hometown folks with children that want to stay here and build their homes and grow their families here. Some sort of an adjusted scale rate. Like I said, be people that are smarter than I, but there's got to be some sort of give and take for those folks that that have been here for these many years and help build the beauty that we have, and they should receive some sort of break for that, I feel like.
Okay. And Tim, same question.
With these massive developments that are wanting to come in here, again, I'm not against impact fees, but I think if we're going to do them, they've got to be utilized correctly. But when you see these big developments coming in here, you need to get with these developers and have them flip the bill for the impact that they're really going to have, that the impact fees won't cover, as far as like having to redo roads because of the traffic and stuff. But when you get these massive home developments in here, it's going to put a strain on a sheriff's department that's already strained, first responders that's already strained, and a school system that's strained. So we've got to find a way. If we're going to let these come in here, we need to find more businesses to bring in here to increase our tax base so we can improve our infrastructure. Because if you bring in 700 homes that are planned to go in East Palatka, you've got a couple thousand people that are going to live there. That's going to strain our already stretched services. So again, with better budgeting, I think we can work with this and make it happen in a good way.
For our next question, we're going to start with Walton. Looking to the future, what do you see as the challenges facing Putnam County, and how would you solve those?
We surely will be dealing with the expansion of our East Palatka sewer system. As of last month's report, we are operating at 57% of its capacity. With the known growth in East Palatka and along the 207 corridor, this will have to be addressed sooner than later. Having been there when this was brought online, I think it would give me a head start on the issues there as we continue to bring septic systems off and away from our river. And this is going to be very important and will have to happen very rapidly, and it could be a shared system possibly with the developer, or it may be all on us, and if it is, we will have to expand rather quickly to handle that need that they'll be there.
And Tim, same question. Looking to the future, what else do you see as challenges facing Putnam County, and how would you solve them? Again,
with the rapid growth that we're going to be seeing, trying to preserve our natural resources and our small town rural feel. But with these large home developments that are wanting to come in this way, I think making them flip the bill to add on to the sewer system or add on to the water systems, because it's inevitable. It's got to happen. But again, we're not ready for this type of growth because we are economically impacted county, and we're almost at that threshold where we're going to lose that status, which you get a lot of state and federal grants because we are. So we've got to find a way that we can better budget what we have, and with the people coming in, being able to make them pay their fair share to improve what we need. Because again, you're stretching a lot of systems that we have here thin. The county services, it's all got to be expanded. But I think making these developments pay some of this price is going to help us when we get to that point.
And Buddy, same question for you.
Well, our biggest problem is going to be the influx of people that's coming in here. That's a lot of people like to think that Putnam County is the poorest county, and that's actually not true. We are up there in the 10, but we're not the poorest. But we also get state funds to us because we are financially restricted county, or constricted, and we're going to lose that. We will lose that, and so the cost is going to even be more exponential on us on to getting these things done. That's going to have to get done. So we're going to have to look at new ways. I pushed for impact fees back when I was in office. The other commissioners didn't like it, but I did. I still think it needs to be done basically so that we can hold the developers accountable to get these things done that need to get done.
And Tim, as you've been out campaigning, what have been the areas of concern from the voters that you've talked to?
The biggest thing I've heard is our roads, and especially in the west end of the county, the south end of the county. Our roads are just poorly maintained, poorly done, and that seems to be everybody's big gripe. Now, I've had people say, I don't want my road paved. I've had people say, well, I want my road paved. Eventually, most of them will be paved. It's going that way. And I can tell you, is having a repair shop. People say they don't want the road paved. Well, you're paying me a lot more money to fix your car because of these roads. And then the second thing is our first responders. Everybody complains about fire service or EMS. Out in the west end of the county, we have 2 to 3 deputies that cover 430 square miles. That's part of our infrastructure, trying to find a way to better budget and even get the sheriff department to work on their budget so we can get more law enforcement out here. talked to one deputy. He says if they lose one person, they're in trouble. So we've got to grow that.
And Buddy, what issues have you heard from the voters?
They're concerned about the big developments that are going to be coming in here, the traffic that is mounting, the influx of bad drivers. We are showing more accidents, and some of that is basically the state needs to, and they have looked at it. I have spent some time up there in Tallahassee. They're looking at it, but they're not in a hurry to do anything for Putnam County. I hate to say that, but they're just not. Again, what I think we need to do as a commissioner, and I'm looking at it as a commissioner, commissioners need to start having more and more meetings with these regional development companies or outfits out of like Jacksonville of what we can and cannot legally do to hold back and be able to build infrastructure that'll accommodate the new growth.
Thank you. And Walton, same question. What are you hearing from the voters?
Here recently, mostly is jobs, and clean industry to our county is the number one thing I've heard. Working with our chamber is the best way to make that happen. We have some really good people down there trying to bring this to fruition. Another concern I have is after talking with a lot of our first responders is they don't live here in our county. They live outside the county simply because there is nothing here to purchase for them to live, and they have to live elsewhere. Last count that I heard, it was estimated that 1,300 people a day are moving to Florida, and Putnam County will certainly receive some of this growth here, and we are going to have a place for them to live and a place for them to work. And I think this all ties in together as one.
Well, as a Christian radio station, I would imagine that you'd understand that most of our listeners want to know what role your faith might play in your decision making as you serve as a county commissioner. And so we'll go to Buddy first for that one.
Well, to go it alone would be foolish. I'd spent a good portion of my life as a non-Christian. Fortunately, I had a motorcycle accident that laid me up in the bed for a while there, and I still believe that it was God going, sit down, boy, I need to talk to you, because I went from pretty much an agnostic to a Christian in there, and I have been blessed since then. I cannot imagine going through life without it. Even when I had to deal with the death of my son, I could not do that without God beside me. I had to pray to him to give me the strength of what I needed to do. So I can't imagine just going it alone. I can't.
Thank you. Walton, same question. What role does your faith play in your decisions?
Well, in everyday life, you know, when you have those times when you just scratch your head and go, what do I do? That's who you'd refer to as your creator. You've got to believe there's a supreme being that created us all, and that's certainly my guiding light that carries me through all my troubles. I, too, have buried a child, and that was a saving grace to me for sure, to lean on him to carry me through that. You got to have prayer in all your daily life challenges, and if you don't, it'll be a lot easier if you learn to do that. Thank you.
Yes. Tim, same question.
Like they said, you know, you can't go it alone. But, you know, my faith, it directs me to, you know, I've always tried to do the right thing, even when you know, people aren't looking, you know, the right thing to take care of people or myself or anything along that lines. And, yeah, there's been instances in my life where I've had accidents. I've had this and said, wait a second, why am I still here? You know, so, you know, I have a pretty strong faith. You know, I don't attend church regularly, but I do believe, you know, that the good Lord above, and I've been saved, you know. So, again, it's just I try to do the best I can and you know, look to that to guide me and you know, be a good person.
Okay, thank you so much. We have one last question, and this is the closest you get to advertising, because we do not do any political advertising on our station. But we're going to go to Walton to answer first. Why should people vote for Walton Pellicer?
Well, as I said before, my record of service, I think, stands on its own. I have proved that I'm a get-it-done kind of person, you know, take the bull by the horns, if you will. I'm prepared to meet the challenges of this county that lie ahead and whatever's coming our way, and lead in a direction that benefits all of Putnam County residents. You can reach me on Facebook at Walton Pellicer for County Commissioner, District 5. Email waltonpellicer@gmail.com, all lowercase letters. And my home phone number, if there are a few folks that still have those, is 386-329-4051. I am Walton Pellicer, and I would appreciate your consideration on or before Tuesday, August 20th. Thank you.
And why should people vote for Tim Williams?
Vote for me because I have a fresh new perspective on this. I haven't been in the office before, but I'm not the status quo of what's been going on in Putnam County for so long that's kind of got us where we are today. I've got a fresh new outlook on things. I was in a county that was pretty rural that is now completely built up, so I have ideas on way that we can keep that from happening. And again, I'm the new guy in the group, so if you want new things in Putnam County and you want it going the right way, vote for me. You can reach me by email. It's tawss04@gmail, and my phone number is 386-546-4916. And feel free. And I have a repair shop out in Interlochen. If you got questions, I have people coming in all the time asking me stuff that's not car related that may need help, and I've got the advice I can give them.
Thank you. And why should people vote for Buddy Goddard?
Well, because I believe I'm the best choice. I'm very able. I mean, I've proved it out there on the big construction jobs and dealing with the military. You have to be able to work with people across the board. And then when I was in office, we got a lot of things done, and not because we agreed, but we got a lot of things done, and I personally, like I said, got a lot of things done. I've never been afraid to not speak up for things that need to be said. Sometimes that gets me in trouble, but I'm glad to say what needs to get done. You can reach me. I'm on Facebook, Buddy Goddard. I'm on Facebook also, Buddy Goddard for County Commissioner, District 5. And my phone number is 386-227-0013.
Well, thank you all for being here, and we certainly applaud your desire to serve as a county commissioner, because it takes a lot just to be able to decide to run for office and all that you've been doing as you're out campaigning. And I think we all have a very tough decision to make now. But we want to encourage our viewers and listeners to definitely get out and vote coming up on August 20th. Now, there is early voting available, and that's going to be August 5th through the 17th. If you need more information about where your polling place is or any other questions like that, I encourage you to call the Supervisor of Elections office at 386-329-0224 or check out their website. Also, if you go by their office, they have a very handy voter guide that gives a lot of information, and there may be some things coming up that you're unaware of as far as voting dates or people running for different offices. So they've got all the information that you need there. And we also have other candidate forums that we're going to be posting as well. So once you're done watching this one, I want to invite you to watch some of the other ones, and certainly share them on social media pages as well, so that people can get out and vote and make an informed decision. Again, all of you, thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. God bless you.